Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing today? I hope that you are as excited as I am, to be joining in this session. I don't know how much of research you have done, but if you're joining in this session today, just thank God, say Alhamdulillah, because I am sure that in a few months or years, you'll be giving a testimony. Know how much of research you have done. But if you're okay, awesome. So I was saying that you would give a testimony to say that I attended Mr. Idowu's session and I took this.
Hi, can anyone hear me? Am I still here?
Yes, can you?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it was my network. Okay, awesome. So I was saying that he has experience and has started, 3 startups of his own. He has helped guide a lot of founders across different countries, Nigeria and Ghana, and one of my favorite countries, Singapore as well. So trust me when I say that, we have royalty here today. He's the CEO of Bullion Labs. And Sir, we are very, very happy and excited to have you here. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us on today's session. We're looking forward to it, and we know that it's going to be very, very insightful. So basically, today we'll be talking about building a sustainable business model. Building a sustainable business model. And if you're in Africa, especially Nigeria, you know how challenging this can be. I'm glad that we have a lot of people that are founders listening, people that have attempted and people that would want to build businesses in the future. So I believe that, this is timely considering your journey in the tech space. And I would like to boast that I'm sure that we will have, unicorns from people that are listening in a few years. Without spending much more time, I would like to invite our speaker, Mr. Idowu, to the stage. You have our attention for the next 40 minutes. Over to you, sir.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Zara. Thank you, Demilade. Thank you to the entire 3MTT team from the Federal Ministry of Communication, Innovation, and Digital Economy. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm happy to share a few thoughts with you about building business models and while we're on the topic, business models that can last the test of time. I have a few ideas about how this session might be. Permit me to be a bit creative. I'd like to start with a story, okay? And in the middle of my story, I will ask us some questions. And then at the end, we will go through a few slides, quickly talk about what a business model is and why should we even use a business model, what's the usefulness, and then we'll practice together and build a business model right now on this call today, in the next 1 hour, in the next 40 minutes for a fictitious startup. Just pick anything, energy, whatever, and we're going to build a business model for it right now. So I'll start with my story. Let's imagine that I just got back from Boston, Massachusetts, right? That town that has a lot of schools, a lot of world-renowned schools. I just bagged a double honors, a double degree in innovation and entrepreneurship studies. Okay, just imagine with me for a second. So the fact that I have world-class tools for building innovative solutions to problems is not in doubt, because this is a highly ranked course in one of the highly ranked schools in the world. Let's say MIT, okay, Boston. So over the last 1 month since I got back, I live in Lagos. Over the last 1 month since I got back, I have been bored to death because I am looking for a worthy challenge to, I mean, if I can go all the way to find the world-class tools and the world-renowned tools for solving people's problems, I might as well pick a problem that is worth my time, okay? So I have been bored, I go around, I go to parties, I go to church, mosque, I go to different places, I go to social gatherings, and I'm generally scouting and looking for ideas or problems, and nothing has really grabbed my attention. And so just yesterday, I was driving past Anthony bus stop or maybe Maryland bus stop in Lagos. Am I still good? My network good? Just give me a thumbs up. Okay. I can't see that thumbs up. Okay, so let me just assume that all is good and just keep going on and just keep going. Just yesterday, I drove past Maryland and hi Zara, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the network might have been. I was saying that if I'm still visible, somebody should give me a thumbs up, but I think I have been visible so far. So
yes, you are, and there are a lot of responses with people saying hi from all over Nigeria. We currently have 37 people on the call, but we'll typically get to about 100 plus.
Okay, sounds good. So yesterday I drove past, I was just driving. And then I got to Maryland bus stop in Lagos State, and I saw a picture in front of me, and it brought back floods of memories from when I was a little boy. I saw a downfall bus that had stopped midway in the middle of a journey because it had run out of fuel. And perhaps, maybe emotionally, maybe sentimentally, this particular problem jumped at me because I remembered that many years ago in primary school, I have experienced that problem. I've been in a bus where the bus stopped midway. And I could remember the angst on my parents' face, or whomever it was that was accompanying me, and the indifference of the downfall driver. And I felt, oh my God, if this is a problem that has existed for so long, 30-something, maybe 40-something years, maybe this is a problem that is worth my while. Now, this is where I'd like you to pay attention. And Zara, please let me watch because I'm going to ask a question and then you help me watch the comment section. At this point, I have decided that I want to pursue this solution, this problem. So at this point, I have two choices. Choice one in my left hand, okay? I immediately do a photographic, capture of that downfall bus, the conductor, the passengers, and the whole situation. And from there, I cancel my appointments for that day and I run to the office and I tell my team, hey guys, we have found a problem to solve. Everybody, please, you, team member one, can you go to statista.com? So team member two, can you go to worldbank.org? Team member three, can you go to right? Let's start to break down this problem. There is a problem of downfall drivers running out of fuel midway. Perhaps it's a payment problem, perhaps it's a payment accessibility problem, perhaps it's a profiling problem. Let's solve this problem. And we observe the problem and we immediately jump into solution mode. Remember, I have the best world-class tools in the world, okay? So this is option one in my left hand. Option two, in my right hand, okay, alternative two, is that I make that observation, but then I go home and then I tell myself, this might be a worthy endeavor. However, I don't jump into solution mode immediately. The next morning at 6 a.m., I resume at Ikeja bus stop and I go and meet the first Danfo driver that I can meet, that I can see in the line, in the queue of Danfo buses. And I tell him, sir, my name is Ido. May I know yours? Oh, my name is Baba Moshood. And I say, dear Baba Moshood, can I buy the two front row seats in your bus for the next 2 weeks for all trips, 8 days, 8 trips per day, and I'm going to be your passenger, the sole passenger in the front of this bus, and I'm going to follow you on each of your trips for the next 2 weeks. So how much she says, what you do? My charge, I need 100,000. And I say, don't worry, I'll give you half now. I give you 50 right now, and I'll give you 50 at the end of the day. And I give him 50, and I give him 50,000 naira, and we're on. So so that same morning, I'm wearing my t-shirt and jeans, and I'm starting with him at 6 a.m., and we do 8 trips per day for the next 2 weeks. Okay? Now, on day 1, or maybe day 3, one day we are coming back, we're doing Ikeja to CMS, okay? And we're coming back. And we run into a team, a squad of VIO officers. We're all Nigerians, right? So we know vehicle inspection officers, those black and white and yellow guys, okay? And we run into them. And I hear, because I'm seated beside him in the front seat, I hear Papa Moshood mutter, oh my God, I immediately take my pen, verbatim, okay? For those of you that don't understand Yoruba, he says something like, oh my God, these accursed people are on my way. Okay, something like that, But I capture the raw emotion and I write it on my sheet of paper that I have with me. And then I gather. So when Papa Moshood goes for his lunch break, where he eats maybe 2 wraps of fufu and 4 pieces of goat meat, okay, I'm studying his emotional reactions and I'm capturing that, right? I'm taking everything in. The frustration on his face when he needs to buy black market fuel because there's no fuel scarcity, I'm storing everything, okay, about him. I'm studying Baba Moshood. What I'm doing with option 2 is that I'm immersing myself into the life of Baba Moshood. So after 2 weeks, so the important thing with this one is that, with this approach 2, is that in approach 1, I jumped from problem observation to solution mode immediately. In option 2, I took my belt, this belt that MIT gave me, this Superman belt that MIT gave me, that contains all the world-class tools, innovation tools, and frameworks that I got from MIT. I take that belt and I keep it in my cupboard for 2 weeks. And I go and subject myself to the experiences and life and worldview and perspective of Baba Moshood, so that I can understand the problem. Because, okay, I'm not going to jump the gun. We'll come back to that later. There's a point to make there, but we'll come back to that. So, option 1, observe a problem and jump into solution immediately. Option 2, settle down, calm down, and immerse yourself in the life of the person that is experiencing that problem. And then after 2 weeks of Baba Moshood, I come back and I come back to my team and I say, hey team, these are the observations from this immersion experiment. We build an empathy map, we build a persona, we build a value proposition canvas, and we build all of these things. And then from there, we start to see, these are the problems that matter to Baba Moshood. These are the problems that Baba Moshood will pay an arm and a leg to solve. These other problems, they exist. He will acknowledge with you that these problems exist in his life, but he may not be willing to pay you for these particular other problems, okay? And from there, we have some kind of notion, intuition for, let's go for one of these top 3 problems, if we rank them by priority or by importance, okay? And then we'll have something to build. Now, I like to use this as an introduction to design thinking, okay? Or introduction to proper problem solving, okay? Because all smart people, all of us, okay, all smart people that went to school, okay, have one weakness. And that weakness is that we like to be correct, okay? Because that's what school is all about. School is all about passing exams and being correct all the time. So we often like to be correct. What that means is that when we are trying to solve problems for people, sometimes we forget that no matter how many degrees you have, no matter how many frameworks you have for solving problems, you can never know more about the problem than the person experiencing the problem.
Exactly.
You are an expert, you as an innovator, thank you, Zara, you know more about the solution, but you don't know more about the problem. The customer is the ultimate expert in the problem that they are experiencing. Okay. Now, we'll link all this to business models very soon. But I thought it necessary to discuss this because building business models, building sustainable business models, building sustainable businesses is all about starting with the right mindset as a foundation. Kind of like you are erecting a building. You need the right foundation upon which you can then place a lot of heavy load. That's exactly how it is. So we start out this entrepreneurship journey, this startup journey, this problem solving journey, this business building journey by putting the right building blocks in place. And that is by acknowledging that there are a lot of assumptions in our heads that are not clear to us right now about whatever problem we are selecting to solve. One of the best people to help us understand that problem is the person that is experiencing that problem. So in real life, you will try to sometimes immerse yourself in situations, right? Sometimes it may not be possible, right? Because you may not be able to immerse yourself in the life of a lecturer, right? But you want to get as close as possible to immersion. Immersion is the holy grail. Immersion is the ultimate tactic or method to get to understand how people are experiencing what they're experiencing. But for logistics reasons, where that is not possible, we'll find alternatives. Now, here's my question for the audience. Between alternative A, which is observe the problem while driving and immediately go to the office and start solving the problem, number one, and alternative B or approach B, which is take 2 weeks off and remove your MIT belt and go and keep it in your cupboard and go and subject yourself to Baba Moshood and his daily lived experiences. And then after those 2 weeks, now come out with a lot of data about that specific and customized for Baba Moshood's experiences, and then start to use that to build a solution. Which do you think can help us build a solid, sustainable business? I'd like to get that in the next 30 seconds, if you can.
Awesome. Yes, you would. I have started seeing responses even before you landed with your questions. A lot of people saying that truly only he who wears the shoe knows where it hurts. Another person said building sustainable business is all about having the right mindset and putting the right building blocks in place. Personally, I've been in presentations where you're pitching a solution, but you really sound like you don't understand the problem. And just listening to you narrate it, I can feel the emotions and the anger of Baba Moshood when he saw the VIO and he's thinking, oh God, these people are going to frustrate my life. So I think that's important. Your responses are coming in. We have Priscilla saying alternative B. Margaret said she's listening in from Jigawa. She would also go with alternative B as well. An interesting feedback from David. He said he is going to go with a combination of both options.
Okay.
Right. And then we have, a lot of BBBs. Currently, we have 61 listeners on the call.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's go on. I mean, I'm sure perhaps the link will be available for the recording, right? So people can review it after.
Exactly. On YouTube already.
Right. So thank you guys for participating. It's always a pleasure to have an interactive audience. One of the things I hate is dumping things into people's heads. If you're not going to listen, it's useless to me. Let's just gist and chat and have a nice time. So having cleared that mental space, that way of looking at the world, okay, and I took all of that time to invest. I invested all of that time in laying this foundation because sometimes we get carried away, especially in the startup world, right? In the tech startup world, we get carried away with the fanfare, the buzz, the trendiness of building startups, right? Because then we are building something that is attractive to investors or attractive to media companies. Oh, I will be profiled as top 10 healthcare startup in Africa, right? Sometimes we get carried away with those things. But we forget that ultimately, the purpose, the one thing that guarantees that anybody, any business will succeed or will last the test of time, will be enduring. The one thing that ensures is that you are continuously solving customer problems. Now, we don't have enough time on this call, right? But perhaps in future sessions, we can discuss something that I call the pain meter, okay, or the problem severity meter. In that thing, I always say that whenever there is a problem that has a high level of severity, okay, so if you say the severity of this problem is 10 over 10, then you have then you correspondingly have a very high level of willingness to pay. Because there are certain problems in people's lives that, yes, if you ask me about this problem, I'll tell you, oh, yes, I agree, it's a problem. But it might be a problem I'm willing to live with. That's called a minor irritation. If you solve my minor irritation, I will not pay you. If it's free, I will jump into it and take your solution. But the day you put a price tag on that solution, you will just see that I will continue to live with it. And so one of the surest way, it's difficult work, it's hard work, but the surest way to guarantee that you will build a successful business is to have this we must be solving customer problems mentality throughout your organization. Whether you have external funding or not then becomes secondary, right? In fact, you will be surprised that barring every other factor, these external investors that everybody is chasing love to see a business that is solving problems, especially a very painful problem. Having said that, there is a particular tool that helps us, and it's available publicly right now. And hopefully after the end of today's session, this will become your best friend. You're going to say, oh my God, the business model canvas is now my best friend, okay? The business model canvas is a tool, is widely available, but a lot of people don't use it as powerfully as should be used. It's like having a V12 engine and you're driving it like a Kia Picanto. I'm sorry, if you drive a Kia Picanto, right? But the business model canvas is a very, very, very powerful tool for thinking about how to build a business model. So in the first place, what's a business model? A business model is a one-page replacement, a one-page summary, not a replacement, a one-page summary of that 200-page business plan that we used to write. You can see my small gray hair. 200-page business plan that we used to write a couple of years ago, right? A couple of years ago, I used to write business plans for people, right? And sometimes we write 80 pages, sometimes 100 pages, sometimes 120. Now, a business model canvas is a great recent summary. It doesn't replace it, but it's a summary of that high-level detailed document. What that means is that when you walk away from this Baba Moshood experiment after 2 weeks, you can go to your office and gather your team around and build a business model canvas and be sure that this is a worthwhile investment of our time in a few minutes or a few hours, the business model canvas. Now, cut out all the stories. It has a couple of building blocks. Some really, really smart people have discovered that every business, whether you are Tony Elumelu at the top of the UBA group, the Hers group, or you are Iyasikira that sells Ofada on my street. Every business has 9 building blocks. So they've made these 9 building blocks into this visual layout, and we'll go through them shortly. Okay. Story. Let's get into it because I like to do the practicals. Let's get into it quickly. Stop sharing and share this other tab. I wish I could have shared the tab instead. Share this tab instead. Okay. Aisha, please. Oh my God. Zara, please confirm. Right, good.
Yes, we can
Awesome.
see the screen. Still waiting to get to the tab.
Yeah, so if you look at this
Yeah.
link, I'm gonna paste it into the chat. But that link takes us to a Google Slides document that I created to help people quickly get to usefulness with the business model canvas. Okay, it's in the chat. You can copy it for people. All right.
Awesome.
So
It's public. I'll share with
yes,
the
it's
group.
publicly available. Just let everybody just go and just paste that into your browser, and it will take you here. So it's a template. Now, a couple of things, right? I've been in many presentations. I'm often some kind of panelist or judge at pitching competitions, and I cannot tell you how many times I have seen, because we all learned the English language, and in English, we read from left to right, okay? People want to present the BMC, and they've done the work, they filled all the columns, but they start up and they just open up the business model canvas and they start talking about it from key partners. However, there is an order to the sections in the business model canvas. So the traditional business model canvas doesn't come with numberings, okay? But that's one of the things that I did with this model, okay? So I added numbers to it. So the very first thing you should think about for your business model canvas is customer segments. You should identify who your customers are. And you can leave these are personas, right? So personas, and then you define for each of these segments or personas, what are the things that are valuable? You will agree with me that somebody who is between 18 and 25 in 2024, if you want to find them on social media, don't go to LinkedIn. Don't go to, maybe don't go to Facebook. You go to Snapchat and go to TikTok. But if you are looking for, if you're looking for, yeah, thank you. I don't want to say the gen, whatever it is. But if you are looking for 45-year-olds to 60-year-olds, if you go to TikTok and Snap, you're wasting your time. You should probably be going to LinkedIn, the other ones I mentioned. Right? So there is a contextual definition to how to ideate, solve problems for, and market to people based on who they are as you defined in your segments. Okay, so number one, customer segments. Number two, what are the value propositions that apply to each of those customer segments? Number three, channels. How would you market? How would you find them to market to them? Number four, well, 3A is how you market. 3B is how you deliver the product how you deliver the product or service to them. Number four is what type of customer relationships are we building with them? And number five, how would you make money? So when you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which are not obvious in the standard template that came out from the original creators of this document, you then discover that if you've done this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you then discover that you've answered a basic question. This document helps you answer two questions. The first question is what we call the right-hand side, which is a green colored section. The second section is what we call the red, the left-hand side or the other side. Now, this green side helps you answer the question, how is this business going to make money? So sections in this order: section 1, customer segments; section 2, value proposition; section 3, channels; section 4, relationships; section 5, revenue streams. If you do this, you have answered the question, how are we going to make money? Now, on the other side helps you answer the question, what is the back end? So this other side is called the front end of the company, okay? The front end, how will we make money? The back end helps you answer the question, what do we need to put in place in order to make the 300 billion that you think you can make from this right-hand side or from the front end? Okay, so you see that now key activities, defining what the activities are. If you're a tech startup and you're doing HR software, you need programmers, you need infrastructure engineers, you need DevOps, you need HR specialists, domain experts. Okay, if you are a manufacturing company, you need factories, you need power plants, you need logistics infrastructure, right? Warehousing and stuff like that. So depending on what type of business you are building, you need key activities. Now, the key activities determine with the key resources. So if you are doing manufacturing requires raw materials. If you're doing farming or agro-processing requires agro raw materials, fresh produce. If you're doing whatever you are doing, the activities determines the resources that you need for the activity. So activities first on the left-hand side, resources, then who are the partners that you need to partner with? If you are building, like I said before, an HR software, Are you going to build your own payment engine just because you want to accept payments from people? Probably not. If Paystack and Flutterwave have done, and InterSwitch have done a fantastic job of building payment engines, why do you want to reinvent the wheel? Why don't you just plug in their API? That's a partnership. Okay. If you need to deliver goods to, maybe you're doing food delivery and you need to deliver, or some other type of delivery, and you need to deliver goods, why do you want to build your own logistics network? Why not just plug a logistics network into your system, and that's a partner? So on the left-hand side, key activities, key resources, and then key partners. And finally, what is your cost structure? So when you've answered the left-hand side as well, you have answered the question, what are the things we need to do internally? What is the back end? So if you walk into, if any of you has ever walked into a shop, every business has a front end and a back end. If you walk into any of the ice cream shops or any of the, give me an example, even, any type of shop, any type of business, there is the part of the business that interacts with customers, okay, and deals with customer experience and customer interactions. And there is the part of the business that you never see. There's a financial, there's a finance / accounts person, there's an HR person, there are internal operations people running around that you never see on the front end. So that's what this red section is. Having said all that, let's run an example right now. So, I forgot to update the slides. Excuse me. Basically, this is what I was talking about, but it's already color coded for you, so we're already familiar with it. On the right-hand side, we have the question, how do we make money? And on the left-hand side, or the front end of business, on the left-hand side, we have the question, what do we need to arrange? What do we need to procure? What do we need to put in place in order to make this money that we are planning to make on the right-hand side? So dreaming and well, the right-hand side is about dreaming. What can you do? How much can we make? The left-hand side is about reality. What do we need to do to make that? Do we need to employ 6,000 programmers? Do we need to employ, 2 programmers, as the case maybe? And then we can fix that. All right. So I have a template here. And this is, I'd like us to, so I'm going to do something now. I'm going to duplicate this slide. Remember that this is available, so after this session, all of you can go and try it out, and all you have to do is click on the file and make a copy, and then you have your own copy that you can modify. So let's do this. So let's do something, okay? Is this the editable version? Am I logged in as the right person? One second. Yep. Okay, there you are. So, am I still audible, and is everything going fine? I know we're running out of time, so we're really going to run through this right now. How am I doing with time? If I'm still audible, please give me another thumbs up into the chat box. Please give me another thumbs up into the chat box. Okay. Okay. I think I'm seeing some. Yes. Okay, thank you. All right. So I'm just going to leave this here. Okay. So for the purpose of running through time very quickly, I'm just going to use this example, okay? Instead of reinventing, I'm going to use this example. Let's imagine that, for instance, we are building a renewable energy business, okay? Just for example, okay? That's the example that we have a renewable energy, okay? And we're trying to sell power to millions of Nigerians that don't have access to power, okay? Inverters or whatever other power solution. We've defined that we've chosen to define our customer segments by age bracket. So this is one way of slicing. So this is a deep topic, right? Customer segmentation is a deep topic entirely, but we don't have time to go into the details. Yes. But one way to say is whenever anybody asks you, "Hi, Zara, you are the new," whenever somebody asks you, "Hi, Zara, who is your customer?" The temptation is to say, "Oh, everybody that needs X is your customer." But that's actually a very suboptimal way to answer that question. The way to answer that question is to do a proper customer segmentation. Even if everybody in Nigeria, even if you are selling bottled water, okay, bottled water, and everybody in Nigeria drinks water, everybody is not. The answer to that question is not everybody is my customer. You need to break it up and say, I have a customer between 0 and 12 years old that is a minor, okay, that needs to drink water. I have another customer between 13 and 20 that drinks water. And I have another customer between 13 and 20, 21 and maybe 30 or 35 or something, and so on and so forth. You will discover then that because you have streamlined the definition of each of those customers buckets or customer segments, you will develop sharper marketing material in terms of text and even emotions and character definitions and color choices and font choices. You will develop all these things that resonate with that particular segment. And by the time you combine your revenue numbers from all these segments, you will make more aggregates than you will make if you try to develop one marketing message for 16 segments. Thank you very much. For everybody. That's the keyword. Run away from that word, everybody. So just for our example here, we have a segment that is 0 to 20, okay? And then we have a segment that is years old, so it's age, 20 to 30, 30 to 50, and then 50 plus, okay? Just for discussion purpose. People who want to buy, people who want to power themselves, their lives, okay? Now, from here we jump. So if you notice something here, the value proposition section, this is where a couple of people also miss it, in addition to all the things I've mentioned before, when they are using the business power canvas. A value proposition is not a feature. So this is not where you say, I'm building a car that has 5-speed or 6-speed or 7-speed, or that has electric engine or hybrid engine or electric vehicle. This is not. The value proposition is the reason why that person is buying an electric vehicle over a petrol or fossil-based vehicle. The feature, the electric thing is the feature, but there must be a reason why that person chooses the electric over the fossil, over fuel and diesel, petrol and diesel. That thing that drives them to choose option A over option B is the value proposition. And that's why here you won't see inverter can last for 5 hours or inverter can last for 24 hours. You will see speed, trendiness, and price friendliness as attributes of a product or service that are absolutely non-negotiable for people in the 20 age range, in the 0 to 20, because they are young and everything must be fast for them. Makes sense? Speed is very important for them. Let's compare that with 50 plus. 50 plus cares about durability. They probably retired or started to think about retirement. They've been working for 20-something years, so they have some savings. They are not really crazy about price friendliness, okay? But they are crazy about durability. At that age, 50 plus, 30 plus, and 50 plus are very particular about, if I buy it now, I don't want to buy another one in 10 years. That's the way they think. Make sense? Good. Yes. So this is the reason why you don't lump people up into everybody buckets, right? So that's value propositions. Number 3 here is marketing channels. Like we discussed earlier, people 0 to 20, you cannot find them on, you'll find them on TikTok and Snapchat and maybe Instagram as a third option, right? And so you build all those things out. And then if you want to build inverters and solar-powered lights and other things, appliances for them, how would you deliver people? So again, ABC matches the ABC in your customer segment. So ABC for value propositions matches the ABC in customer segment. So home delivery matters to young people. Walk in. Again, old people yes, some of them like home delivery, but many of them want to walk into the Samsung shop or the LG shop and see the TV before they bring it to the house. Many of them want to walk into the car shop and see it. I'm not old, I'm just 20.
I can't even relate to seeing pictures because I know that my mom does that in She prefers
They
to
want
go there and touch
they want
what she wants to buy.
I'm just 22, sha, but I don't know. So, but that's the behavior of old, right? And so customer relationships, right? So young people like self-service. They want to log into a system and choose options, log into a portal or an app and choose options and have it delivered to them at home. That's why Uber and all these other food delivery things are thriving. It's not for old people. Old people want to walk into a restaurant. They want to walk into Sheraton restaurant and Hilton, Nikon, Noga, and go and eat. Young people don't care. Bring it to me where I am. Okay? Dedicated customer service matters for the older folks. So we've done all this. We now said, let's even simulate what a revenue line might be. So we said segment A. Segment A, can we, in the next 12 months, there's always an assumption of 12 months revenue reporting period. In the next 12 months, we think that comfortably we can sell 10,000 units of a 7,000 naira solar or energy products to them. Okay, and we think when we did this, I remember we did some kind of demographics around the population of Nigeria, which I said we could do 10,000 in 12 months for at 7,000 naira a piece. Maybe it's a rechargeable radio solar lamp or something like that, right? That you can use in your house and stuff like that, right? Especially for rural people, right? So 10,000 units, 7,000 naira, that's 70 million. There's also another product in this particular company that goes for 20. So if you notice, there's a 7,000 naira product, there's 20,000 naira, there's 50,000 naira, there's 100,000 naira product. So all these are products being produced by the same company, but they are targeted at different customer segments. It's just like if you are selling water, okay? You can actually create a smaller version of this bottle that is 20 cl and brand it for kids and put PJ Masks and Ben 10 on it, right? But that one specifically targeted, they can't drink more than 25 cl at most. So you design that for them. Okay, and then you simulate what the revenue figures might look like. So that's what we've done here. So it might be the same product internally, but the packaging is different for different, the content might be the same, packaging is different for different segments. So you have that 70 million, 5,000 units at 20K, that's 100 million. And then you have this total. Now, this is the dreaming section, okay? This is the dreaming section, okay? So we think that given all these things that we've highlighted, we can make 1.37 billion naira in 12 months. Okay. And that is, like I said before, that answers the question, how much can this make? Now, the value of this tool or this template is that imagine that you had to engage a consultant, okay, to do a lot of high-level feasibility studies for you. That person will probably take 2 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks and come back to you with an 80-page document that you then need to read before you can arrive at this kind of high level. Now, this is not everything. There's a lot of other assumptions here, but it's a high-level summary that you can use to guess and say, this is a worthwhile adventure to go on, or I'm sorry, this is not worth my time.
I want to know more. Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so that's the right-hand side. The right-hand side is how many, everything on the green side is how much can we make. On the left side, and I know I'm really, really rushing for time here. On the right, I'll try and round up in 2 minutes. On the left side.
No worries, well, with you, we can spend the day here.
On the left, thank you, Zara. On the left side, key activities, okay, are key activities that are related to, the type of product, renewable energy product that we're selling in this company, sales and marketing, production, or if you are importation, right? But just mark that activity, relevant to your use case. If you're manufacturing locally, yes, production, internal logistics, which is moving things around, moving raw materials inside your complex, right? And then external logistics as well, should be there. Customer service, after sales service, finance and HR. And then for each of these activities, you need sometimes human resources and non-human resources. So salespeople, factory floor staff, and all of that. Okay, so all of that. Key partners that we need: payment gateways, delivery logistics providers, raw material vendors. And then we said, finally, on the left-hand side, what are the major cost items for this particular business? Remember that we are trying to assess the viability of a business and whether we want to go on this journey. Okay, so we've answered the first question, how much can we make? The second question is, what will it cost to put a structure in place that makes this money? Okay, and so cost header 1, rent, cost header 2, payroll, power. For you, it might be 7 cost headers. For another person, it might be 5 or 4. Okay, so we did this simulation and we came up with this fictitious business that can make 1.37 billion naira in 12 months while spending 350 million naira. So now it's entirely your discretion to say that, oh, okay, I think I'll give it a shot. Okay, that looks like 4x or almost 4x, or definitely above 3x. Okay, I think 4x will be 1.4 billion. So this is worth my time. Somebody else may look at it and say, no, I'm looking for minimum returns of 10x. So if they cannot create 3.5 billion naira from 350 million, it's not worth somebody else's time. They have a right to choose that. That's their choice. Okay. So, but you have the tool to give you the data to make that decision. Okay. I know I'm really, really short of time, so I'm going to stop here. But in terms of helping us, number one, Zara, you're muted.
Okay, so I was saying that our audience are saying no pressure for time, and I feel the same way. So please, we're here for all the important information. It's really an insightful session. Please don't feel pressured for time at all.
Okay. The challenge is that somebody might walk in here at 5. I'm supposed to have at 5 o'clock, but until that person walks in.
Right.
Okay. All right. So, so I hope that I have been able to infect the audience with this, my level of, confidence and passion about this particular tool. I've seen this tool used in various ways, right? That seriously underplay the power, the potential in this particular tool. I was on a session like this a couple years ago, and a lady, she's German, she works with an NGO, an international NGO in Germany, and she said, oh my God, I've been using the business model canvas for 11 years, and I've never seen this kind of things, right? But it is a very, very powerful tool, simple and powerful. In fact, just create this thing and put it on your wall. And you can, by the time you have 17 business model canvases, you can say cross. Okay, this one looks promising, this one looks promising. This is what we're going for, right? And your team can collaboratively do that for you. So let me stop here for questions. If there's any need to nose dive or deep dive into any particular aspect, I'll then do that.
Thank you very much. I was right for being super excited, and I can assure you that the audience are too, because it's been engaging, lots of non-stop comments on something you said about a feature not necessarily being the value proposition, right? And someone is asking, what if the feature is the value?
Okay. Can I go? Your network is breaking a bit, Zara, but I think I got the meat of that question. So
just to give a bit of background, with
yes.
a real life startup that I know, right? So for them, the value is supposed to be a proctoring tool. And when you were talking about it, I was just trying to relate it to what you're saying. Is a proctoring tool, and what it does is that it allows you take your tests from wherever, and it has an AI feature, right? That just helps to act as the vigilator and flags off if you're just going off your screen, right? So in this startup, I have always thought about the AI function as the value, right? And the fact that, nobody has to be there to invigilate. You can just leave the person in the room and they're able to do that. So in this instance, does that count as value as well? I guess that's what we're trying to understand.
Great question, great example to illustrate the important parts of the question. No, the AI feature is not the benefit, and it is not rather it's not the value proposition. So in sales, this topic we're talking about will be very, very clear for salespeople. In sales, a rookie salesperson sells features. A rookie salesperson sells this phone can take 22,000 megapixel picture or camera. This phone has a 22,000 megapixel camera. Or this car has so features, seven exhausts, 5 steering wheels or whatever, But a professional, an advanced, a mature salesperson does not sell features. They sell benefits, the benefits that feature confers on the user. Let me explain. When you use a 22,000 megapixel camera, what do you get? You get crisp images. You get a lifelong documentation of your precious moments. Am I making sense? So if the two of us are employed as salespeople and we are told to go and sell the same device, and you get there and you talk to them about, imagine how you would feel 5 years from today when your cloud provider notifies you automatically, sends a notification to your phone and says, check out this picture you took 5 years ago. And that picture is crystal clear and it captures your happiest moments of your life. That's your pitch. Now, me, I get there and I say, dear customer, this is the latest and the greatest phone ever built, 22,000 megapixel per hour, per picture. Who do you think they're going to go with?
With you, definitely.
No, it's you now. It's you. You are the
No,
person.
I mean,
your network is messing up this conversation. Your network is messing up this conversation. Can you hear me? Is it mine? Is it my network?
Yes. So I said the memories and the emotions.
Yes. Yes, that is the so it's something that we all need to do. And if we're going to build a business, businesses are built on sales, right? So we all need to adopt this, even if we are technology background, technology minded. If you had met me, this is 2024. If you had met me in 2010, maybe 2012, I was very technology oriented. I did, so I understand. So and that should give some inspiration. You can learn this thing. You can learn to reframe how you sell or how you describe what you are selling. If you're going to build a business, you're going to learn to think hard about what the features of your product and the operations of your business. Even if, we are ISO 27001 qualified, we are Scrum certified, we are Agile compliant. All those things don't mean anything at the end of the day. The reason why a customer will choose you above another provider is because that Agile compliance, that ISO 27001 something compliance makes you a better choice in terms of durability of output or process control or lower defect rate in the product. So if you produce 10,000 bottles or 1 million bottles of this particular thing, that's another topic entirely, called quality management. In Six Sigma, if you produce 1 million copies of this bottle, then if you make more than 3.14 mistakes per million, then you have failed. Well, not that you have failed, then you don't make the Six Sigma standard. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is you sell the benefits that the features. So in this AI example, the AI gives a greater, probably, I don't know, probably gives a greater degree of accuracy in proctoring. Maybe a human proctor would have gotten tired because they have to exert their attention for 2 hours straight or 1 hour straight, but the AI will not get tired, number one. So better accuracy. The AI also probably allows the testing agency to save on costs, because instead of paying in the independent agents for their time to sit on the calls and monitor your candidates who are doing the exams, So those are the benefits: cost savings, increased accuracy. If we spend more time, we'll come up with more.
Exactly. I can think of one. In my opinion, I think that it would also just, broaden the resources that you're able to reach, right?
Yes.
Because I think that candidates can write it from wherever. So thank you. I'll just go through one more question, please, if your guest is not here.
Yeah,
so somebody is asking, how do you attract and retain potential customers in an already saturated business environment or selling products that most vendors are already selling?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That question can be attacked. Permit me to use the word attacked. Can be addressed from a number of angles. Okay, so if you take that question, you can look at it from a number of angles. But I think that the one most important thing that is important, we've mentioned it before, but I'll repeat it. The one most important thing that is important to anybody that is trying to sell to people in an already saturated market, and I'll use an example of Nigerian banks and the fintechs, okay, is the Baba Moshood principle, okay? Who would have thought that there was an overlooked segment of Nigerian customers who have been yearning, probably did not have the opportunity to express that yearning, but who would have thought, until this wave of fintechs came up, that there were small pockets of inefficiencies in this big banking industry that we have been carrying on our head for the past 20-something years, right? We all thought that it is saturated, and therefore financial services is saturated. So the thing that makes it possible always is a deep, intimate understanding of the psychography of your customer. Now, this is not a persona template. There's another persona template. Perhaps we'll discuss that on another session. But a lot of people make the mistake when accelerators and mentors and other people, maybe senior people, tell them, go and develop a persona for your customer and come and show me next week. Many times, I see a lot of people focusing on the demographic attributes: age, marital status, education, highest education, race, gender. Those are demographic attributes. People stop there. But the power of any persona is not in the demography. The power of a persona is in the psychography. The psychography is if you combine the following barometric parameters together into one document, what implications, what assertions, what can someone infer from that combination of demographic attributes? And that's the psychography. So if you say that somebody is 22 years old, lives in urban places in Nigeria, obviously likes going to the mall, likes going to the movies, watches DSTV at home, you can start to make some inferences about how this person will spend, perhaps what this person's disposable income can be, how this person will react to customer service. Maybe this person will be very sensitive and provider A doesn't care about customer service and provider B cares about customer service. The two of them are offering exactly the same product. Customers will flock to customer B. You need to be able to understand your customer psychography at that degree of level. If you know that well enough, there's no market that is too saturated for you to enter. Because you will be able to spot those little inefficiencies that the big players have become elephants and they are too occupied with elephantism to spot. You can spot those things and you can create revenue out of those opportunities. Did I answer that question well? Oops, the network is horrible. I hope it's not my network. Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I think you're back.
My apologies, my internet. But I was hearing you and I agree because people have different emotions when they interact with certain products or when they try to, access different products. So yes, you need to be able to have that level of understanding of your customer. All right, thank you so much. I think I've expressed my own feelings about this session enough, so I'll just go through the chat to share some of the sentiments of our audience. So I have Maimuna Umar saying, very interesting, sir. We really appreciate you, sir. More success ahead. We have Davy saying this session is enlightening. We have Isaac saying thank you so much. Hadiza is watching from Nasarawa and she's saying thank you for this wonderful knowledge on startup business. And these are just a few of the comments in the section. I probably will be one of the people in the audience that would be giving out or making quotes from this session. Thank you so much, sir. It's been very insightful and very valuable. I have learned a lot and I have wrote down a lot of points that I need to do a lot more research on, right? So you've just given us something to really think hard about and research about. One of them is paying meter. I loved the part also of just immersing yourself in problems, right? I think I have done that before where I quickly rushed to the market when I thought I had a problem and had to just pin down that startup. So it was as if you're speaking to me. I was the first example that you gave. So thank you so much for taking your time out to join us today. We look forward to all the other sessions that you said we could have in the future. Hopefully we'll find time to do that. Thank you. Have a lovely day ahead. All right. So we will bring the session to a close. Thank you, Demi. And have a lovely day also.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Zara. Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed that webinar episode. Oh, I think our guest speaker has left already, but yeah, that was one of our more interesting ones. I think that was a very good episode. Thank you very much for your time, Zara.
Well done. Thank you for putting this together.
Thank you, and have a great weekend ahead.
You too.
Take care.